Welcome to Web3 and Me, presented by FLOLiO. I am your host, Jeremy Weber, joined as always by my man, Dan Vondelok. On today's show, we're going to recap a somewhat slow August in the NFT market. We'll also be discussing some of the biggest news of the week, including the upcoming y00ts drop, how Moonbirds has handled the last 72 hours post Future Proof conference, as well as Artifact just trying to squeeze every little bit of money out of their collectors as possible. As always, nothing we say is financial advice. Please do your own research before you make any buys or sells. Most importantly, hit that like button, smash the living shit out of the subscribe button, as the YouTubers say, and head to FLOLiO.com, FLOLIO.com, to check out all of the NFT market tools we have over there. Dan, happy Friday. We're heading into Labor Day weekend over here in the States, but over in your neck of the woods, we have the Dutch Grand Prix is over there this weekend, correct?
Yeah,
big weekend, my man.
Yeah, love it. It's always nice, and they allow it. They allow it to be broadcasted on like our television, so you don't have to like pay for it. So I hopefully everyone's gonna watch.
Do you normally have to is it like a special payment to watch F1 races there?
Yeah, it's like the F1 TV or something. It's like you need to buy some licensed stuff. Yeah.
Because we just have it over on ESPN here, so it's just part of our regular cable package. Which I feel even more blessed on this wonderful Friday, knowing that I don't have to pay extra to watch F1. So there we go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's jump into it. We're going to start with our August recap, and it was it was funny. At the end of July, I saw some people saying like, "Hey, August last year, the market pumped. It's going to do it again." Couldn't be further from the truth. Dear God. If we look at OpenSea volume, we did 500 million in volume on OpenSea. That is down just 5% from July, so not bad, but it is down 85% year over year. That is not good. If we look at it in ETH terms, which that's how I prefer to look at it, but it's interesting looking dollars as well, down 27% from July. So the appreciation in ETH in August kind of covered up the fact that volume definitely was down in ETH terms, and making it down 73% year over year. So still very, very bad. We also saw a dip from July in the number of active users on OpenSea, and it was our lowest month of users for the year. August is vacation time. Summers are always slower in every market, and so this shouldn't be like shocking. It is still up 8% year over year, so I'll take that. We got that going on. And another interesting thing that we were discussing before the show and that you did a little bit digging into was we've gotten to the point where we're seeing a near even split between Open2 and X2Y2. And I don't know how long that's been going on.
OpenSea.
Open2? OpenSea. My bad. Whatever. OpenSea and X2Y2. And, LooksRare is basically dead at this point. So, that kind of helps the numbers compared to last year. I don't know if it helps it much compared to last month, but it is interesting to see. And I was saying that like the Bored Ape bot and some of these other bots that sales bots I follow, I have seen more X2Y2 sales, so it's not just wash trading, but I'm guessing there is some wash trading as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so especially when you compare to last year in numbers, there wasn't any competition last year, right? Like it was just OpenSea, and now we at least have different platforms people are trading on. Yeah, but still, compared to last month, it's still not that great. And like wash trading aside, there's still some plenty of like real activity on those other websites. Yeah. And OpenSea, it's just the wash trading is just increasing on OpenSea. I was hoping a crackdown. I was begging for it last month or like the month before. Let's just say that OpenSea was not particularly interested in taking down these projects, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting their 2.5% on each sale of them, even if it's a scam. So they're not too concerned about that. Yeah. So that's kind of the August recap. It was not a great month. This month has not started out great. I think we saw like less than 12 million in volume on OpenSea yesterday, which is very bad. But there is some excitement in the market. However, it is not over on the ETH side. It is on the Solana side with the y00ts drop coming out this Sunday. There's some drama to start the week, however, as Twitter banned temporarily the accounts for y00ts, the y00t list, a bunch of the team members. The head of DeGods, Frank, was not banned, so that was good. He was still able to talk. Some of it I heard was due to the fact that a lot of them were like doing retweets of the people who were becoming, onto the y00ts list. And for those who don't know much about it, y00ts is like the companion for the DeGods project, which is the biggest Solana project. You had to apply for a scholarship to get a y00ts. And so anytime that someone was selected, they made like a whole like social campaign, like sent out a tweet, like congratulating them. It was being retweeted a bunch. And so Twitter perceived that as being bots. Now, I heard a ridiculous conspiracy theory by someone whose name I'm not even going to say because they don't deserve the attention, that Yuga was behind this and trying to sabotage the y00ts drop, which I think is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But Dan, I don't know if you have a similar feeling on that.
Is it who I think it is?
It might be. I don't like this guy. It's another one of these people who just hosts Twitter Spaces and just rambles and puts out like proclaims things that have no basis in reality just to get attention. So
that's
not going to say the person's name. It's an absolutely wild thing to say.
Yeah, like they're like, first of all, like I mean the whole like basic Nazi stuff. It's already far-fetched, right? Like, but there is still some sort of connection you could possibly make if you were to like heavily perform some mental gymnastics. But the fact that you think like, yeah, Yuga, they definitely took down like the DeGods like Twitter accounts and stuff. That's some crazy stuff.
that's some next level, attention seeking. Maybe you need to go, get a hug from your parents kind of behavior right there. So that was going on. Like I said, the mint was supposed to happen this Friday. Because of all of this, they pushed it back to Sunday. There's been a little bit of controversy now, however. It was revealed that when you mint, you're going to get a tube, and you're going to be able to reveal that to your y00ts. So there's going to be secondary market activity before the reveal happens for about a week. Frank, who runs it, like I said, came out and stated that if you trade your tubes or your DeGods or your y00ts on a secondary market that doesn't take creator royalties, that NFT is going to be marked and you will not receive future utility associated with the DeGods project. I don't think this is as bad. Like some people were freaking out and saying that this was going to kill the project. I don't think that's the case. I think people are still in on it. And Frank did give a very compelling reason of like, they're trying to build out something big. And like they got a lot going on, and you need secondary royalties to create a business. It's just how it is. And so I think the people crying about it are just they're not really in it for the long term. They're just trying to squeeze every penny out short term. And I think that is a very short-sighted way of looking at it, and why a lot of these people are terrible at flipping NFTs because they just they don't take enough into account. But I thought that was a pretty interesting approach to take, and one that we'll see if other projects adopt that as the no creator royalty movement kind of kicks into a higher gear.
Yeah, I'd say pay your damn fees, bastards. Stop trading what they call it, off the chain, I think it's called, right? Like off the counter? I'm not sure. On the counter?
OTC, yeah.
Yeah. Just pay your fees, man.
Yeah, like the over the counter trading, like that's it is what it is. Like if people want to do it, they're gonna do it, but you can't really get mad if you don't pay your fair share to the creators and the creators don't want to give you anything. Like I think that's a very spoiled, entitled way of looking at it. If you're going to be like, well, I want it my way. I want to get all the money and I want to get all the perks. It's like, no, that's not how things work here.
Yeah, but do we know how it's going to be marked? Is it like going to be marked as on OpenSea? Is it like a trade or like?
It's gonna be like similar to how if there's like a suspicious activity tag on an OpenSea item, I think on Magic Eden or the other Solana marketplaces, it's going to be marked as like, hey, not paid the royalties, not entitled to benefits, whatever it may be.
It's hard because like it opens up the opportunity for someone. Like, can you only buy it through Magic Eden, or can you also buy it through different platforms?
Different platforms, but like so some of them that don't charge the fee. Now he did say that if you buy one that doesn't have the, that was on one of those sites, you can pay the royalties back in the future and it'll be unmarked. So like you can, if you buy it, from a secondary site and you're not really, the one who benefits from it, it's the seller who does because they don't have to get the extra money. But if the buyer goes and repays those fees, then I think everything is taken care of and forgiven there. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's a good decision. I don't think it's going to hurt the project in the short or long term. I still expect the secondary activity pre-reveal on these tubes to be absolutely insane. So right now, let me pull it up on my end. I want to see what DeGods are trading at. Last I saw, it was like 470 SOL. I imagine that will go down after the y00ts come out. So right now, it's actually at 530. I saw someone asking like what their price prediction was for y00ts. I think that the supply is 15K, so I don't think we're going to see the 5-to-1 ratio that we normally see on like, Bored Apes and Mutant Apes or World of Women to World of Women Galaxy. I think it's going to be closer to like a 1/3 valuation.
Wouldn't it just be more like a 1-to-6 then, if there's more assets, or?
No, there's less in comparison. So like with Bored Apes,
how many DeGods are there?
There's 10,000 DeGods. There's gonna be 15,000 y00ts. With Bored Apes, there's 10,000 but 20,000 mutants. With World of Women, there's 10,000 World of Women but 20,000 World of Galaxy. So I think the mutants trade at like 20% of what apes do. I think the y00ts will trade at like 33% of what the DeGods do. That's kind of my price prediction there.
Yeah, I'd probably join you. Maybe like 1/3 or 1/4 or something. 1/5, maybe not. It has a pretty, like, DeGods is a pretty strong like fan base, right? Like, isn't it the largest Solana based project?
100%, and it's in ETH terms, its floor price is past Azuki, CloneX, Doodles. It's like right up there with Moonbirds and Mutants. So it's continuing to grow. Frank has said that there's going to be some sort of announcement right after the mint that should help stabilize the price of DeGods, as well as Dust, which is their native token, which is what you have to use to mint your y00ts. So a lot going on there. Like I said, activity on Magic Eden for secondary should be absolutely insane. We'll see if it crashes the site. We'll see if it even crashes. Like, there's a chance it crashes the entire Solana blockchain with how crazy this could be between the minting and the secondary action.
Yeah, it's just like Ty Lopez, right? He crashed the Ethereum blockchain.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. So speaking of things that crashed the Ethereum blockchain, and we'll talk about other deeds and that disastrous mint. We can ignore that part of it. But yesterday evening, Other Side put out a new trailer for what they're gonna, what they have coming there. It's not gonna. The next part of the voyage apparently doesn't start until Q4, which is definitely a bummer because it's been, coming up on almost 2 months since the first voyage happened. I believe that was back in mid-July. I would love to get more, another hour of playable demo time, but I guess we'll have to wait. Dan has not seen the video yet, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to play the trailer now. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to go full screen with this bad boy. Here we go.
And I'm an owner now, so this is actually interesting to me now. Different biomes or something. Boink. Nice. So
There
I
you
guess
have it.
a little bit more of like an explanation as to how he found the potion, right?
Yep. Yeah, so a bit of a prequel. So we can kind of break that down for a second. One of the things that seems very clear from this is that, if as you saw the codas, like there was red and there was blue. So there's pretty clearly good codas and bad codas. Now the question is, are all the current ones good? And these next 100,000 plots that are going to come out to people who are active in the testing process, will those contain the bad codas? That's what I'm not sure. And I think that when we saw those two portals, and he went from one portal into the other
Yeah.
one, I think that's another indication that these next 100,000 plots of land are not going to be on the current other side, but there's literally going to be an other side to the
Yeah, the other
process.
side, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that those are two very likely things that we're going to see happen. So I thought that was super cool. Like, I thought, it built a little bit more lore. The codas seem super cute and like very, very like IP and like family friendly, if you want, however you want to say it. I heard someone mention that like they think that the best way that Yuga could handle this, and I think this is brilliant, is if before Other Side really goes mainstream, they do some sort of like mini series or movie or something like featuring
Yeah.
the codas. And because so many people don't like Bored Apes, like on the gaming side of the
Yeah.
world, so many people don't like Bored Apes, and they're right. And that this could be a really good way to change the narrative and get people on board with like, okay, these codas are pretty cool because they are very marketable.
Yeah, but the only thing is the quotas on the NFTs themselves, they look kind of, some of them they look kind of odd, like
Yeah,
not very nice. But like these quotas in the clip, for example, that like they just look great, like super like recognizable. So love it. Yeah, very cool trailer. Love seeing more like the lore behind the other side. Now the question is, which of these two worlds is the other side? Is the first world that we see right now, is that not the other side? I wonder.
I think that no, I think the one that we're in now is where like the yacht club is. I think what we see in the future will be the other
That's the
side.
other
You
side.
kind of buried the lead. Did you buy another deed?
Yeah. I thought you knew. Yeah, I bought an
I did not.
Audit like a month ago or something. So
Okay, that's awesome.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I forgot what I sold. I had some assets and I sold some, and then I ended up buying a Cool Cat, an Other Deed, and something else I can't remember.
I mean, I knew about the cool cat. I did not know about the other deed. We've seen sales increase after that trailer came out. I I would caution anyone buying now. Like, I think this is another one of those examples of people get hyped right now, and then we won't see anything until Q4. So I think just like wait a month, and you'll be able to buy another
Yeah.
other deed at like 1.5, 1.3, something like that. Like, I would like to get more, but I'm not in a rush to do it because I still think that we got a long road to hoe before this is ready, and I'm not gonna just drop money on it when I know that people are gonna get impatient. And I have more patience than 99% of people in the NFT market, so I'll just wait on it.
The cool part is that trailer just now, or like I guess clip or more backstory, has 220,000 views within a day, which is pretty impressive.
I wonder what I'm guessing it's on YouTube as well. No one leave our video, stay watching this, but I'm wondering how many views it has on there. Because and it was funny. I saw someone post comments from some of the Yuga videos with the trailers, and people were like, man, I hate NFTs, but this is really good. And I'm just like, why are you so like blinded by hate towards NFTs when there's
I don't
no
get it.
reason for it? I don't get it either. I'm like, yeah, if you didn't hate NFTs, you could actually be a part of like this whole thing, but instead you're just going to be, set in your ways of like hating it, whatever. You do you. I just thought that was such a ridiculous statement.
And it's the worst part is I think it's more common for people to just blindly hate NFTs than like than people that like it. It's just if you I'm very confident if you were to ask like half the people who say they hate NFTs for their reason, the reason would be yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah.
And if you ask them to elaborate, there's no real answer. It's just people just follow what other people are saying. And unfortunately, NFTs are bad as currently like the meta, I suppose.
Hmm.
But hopefully that changes in a year or like
I hope
shorter, hopefully.
I hope so too. So speaking of projects where people need more patience, let's jump into Moonbirds. I did a video recap on Tuesday of the future proof presentation. You can go back and watch that video. I kept it at like 15 minutes. It was like an hour and 15-minute presentation. So I shortened that up a bit. And this is another one of those things where I haven't always been a huge fan of Moonbirds, but they had me eating my words on Tuesday because the presentation, as far as what they're doing, I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it isn't happening. The big stuff, as far as the Moonbirds mythics and the token that they're going to come out with, aren't happening until Q1 of next year. We've already seen the Moonbirds floor. You know, it's right around 13.5 right now. That is down from where it was before the presentation. It was up at like 16.5. So we're seeing people's lack of patience. If we look at the oddities, they were almost at 2. They're at 1.1. In my opinion, that's a great buy right now. I'm maybe not right now. Maybe look to see if it goes under 1. Like, I'm going to be keeping my eye on that, because if you don't like how those look, you're going to be able to burn them and get one of the mythics in the future. And it could be a very rare one. And I posted some screenshots in the video of what the mythics are going to look like. I think they're really cool looking. I think they're trying to build some really cool in real life utility as well. They're going to do some international trips, which I think is great, because there's been definitely the desire from the people outside of the United States to have meetups around their favorite projects. I think that's really cool. So I think Moonbirds is a great opportunity to wait as people get more impatient, and as we get closer to the end of the year, I'll be keeping an eye on these on a regular basis anyways. And if they get, within striking range, I'm just going to pull the trigger, because I think that this is a good thing to be holding for a longer period of time. Now, it could be a situation where you just want to buy it now, if you're going to buy a Moonbird, and nest it, because there may be a mechanic where the longer you have your bird nested, the more tokens you get, which, in that case, fire away. Like, not financial advice, but that's just me thinking out loud.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of game plan you could think of, whether it's buy early and stake it, or buy the oddity. There's plays to be made for sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of these situations that you could buy a Moonbird, nest it, walk away, come back in 4 months, and you'll be happy that you did. Like, I think that's a play right there that a lot of people are going to regret not making if they are in the financial situation to do so. Let's move on. Dan, you put Doodles on here. I have nothing to say about Doodles, much like they have nothing to say to their community with their lack of comp. So what do you want to say about that?
They haven't tweeted for the entire month of August. It's pretty wild, and it's kind of weird and extremely unnecessary. So I looked at the Twitter, I looked at the founder's Twitter, and the founder is just tweeting stuff about Doodles on his main account, and content that you could put on the main Doodle Twitter. So, for example, they had like these really, really sick looking Doodle figurines, and extremely high quality, looked great. And he did like a little unboxing, showcasing it. Why wouldn't you post it on the Doodle account? It looks sick. It's like a Doodle statue. But, so it's really weird. So I really wonder what's going on behind the scenes there. To me, it almost, like, not to like speculate or anything, but it almost feels like the owner is like locked out of the Twitter or something and is given to some executive or something. It's really weird, but I don't know. They should just post more. I think they're trying to follow this Yuga thing where it's like, we only post extremely sick announcements or something. I don't know what's happening over there.
Yeah, I mean, at least Yuga, like, I turned off the Yuga retweet notifications because I don't need to see every time that someone is retweeted wearing a hoodie or a baseball cap. But at least they're doing that. Like, they're doing something. And that's been Yuga's MO, and that's how they've done it from the jump. And Doodles didn't used to be that way, so now it just comes off as like, they're just being secretive, or they're just not doing anything. And it's reflected in the price of all of their assets. Like, the Doodles have held pretty well in like the 8 ETH range. They're like 7.85 right now. The Duplicator is another one of those that has been an unmitigated disaster. I mean, it's at 1 ETH now. It was trading for like 4 ETH at one point. And then the Genesis box, I mean, dear God, what a cash grab.
0.5 mint, right?
Yeah, 0.5 mint. Let's see, what's it trading at now? 0.19. Like,
wow.
And they made so much money off of those. There's 24,000 of them. Like, There's not much else to say about Doodles. Now they just have to deliver stuff to their holders, which for the sake of their holders, I hope they do. Let's talk real quick. Gutter Cat Gang. They have said that Q3 was going to be a big quarter for them. They have a lot to deliver. There should be their token coming out this month. We've seen the floor on some of the assets begin to tick back. It took a bit of a dip with everything else. It's slowly ticking back up. The OG species are increasing. They also announced yesterday the schedule for GutterCon, which is going to be happening in a couple weeks. I'm actually going to be in Vegas the weekend before GutterCon, so I'm missing out on it, but I'll be there with some buddies. But if we look at the schedule, this is setting the bar for pretty much every other project's IRL experiences. If we look at this schedule, they're going to have like a welcome party on a Friday. They're going to have a poker tournament. They're getting entry to a club, one of the biggest clubs in Vegas at night for everyone who has a GutterCon wristband. Saturday, they're doing golf. They're doing a Fremont Street experience for kingpins, anyone who holds 5 or more Gutter Cats. They're doing a special dinner that night. They're doing a different club back at MGM Saturday night. Then Sunday, they're doing brunch, and then anyone with a wristband has entry to the Wet Republic pool party at MGM Grand as well, which is one of the best pool parties on the Strip. So they are just setting the bar so high for IRL experiences. And I think this puts pressure potentially on Yuga, who has discussed doing the next Ape Fest not during NFT NYC. And if that's the case, say they do something in Miami or they do their own thing in Vegas, now they have to try to, in my opinion, match or outdo what Gutter Cat Gang is doing. And that is going to be a tough ask because this is a pretty awesome weekend that holders are just going to be able to go to all these things for free. That's really cool.
Yeah, it seems like a very solid schedule. Seems fun. Nothing too crazy, but I don't think you have to make it too crazy, right? It just has to be it seems like there are activities where conversation is happening a lot, right? You can talk during poker. I mean, clubbing is a little bit harder to talk to, obviously, but you're still hanging out, right? Golf, I think there's a lot of talk happening during golf. Brunch, pool, sounds good.
For
seems
sure.
Great.
And if I was going, I would do everything but the club because I'm too old to be going to clubs. As a 36-year-old dad, no one wants to hang out with me at the club, and it's too loud. I don't want to deal with all that. The lines, oh god, it just sounds exhausting just discussing it, Daniel. But other than that, it sounds like an awesome weekend to me. So I think people who are going are going to have a great time. I wish I was going, but alas, I cannot tell my wife I'm going to go to Vegas 2 weekends in a row and expect to remain married. So there we have it. Let's talk 10KTF a little bit. They have some new missions launching, and this led to a little bit of run-up on the sheep from Wolf Game. So why don't you dive into that?
Yeah, so I initially wrote this down as Wolf Game, and it ends up being more about, I guess, 10KTF. But the reason why I put down Wolf Game is because, to sum it up a little bit, and JWeb can elaborate on this in a little bit, and that's for one of the missions for 10KTF, you need to have a specific asset. And in this list of 4 assets, Wolf Game Sheep were the cheapest one. So naturally, people who just want to, join the mission and didn't have the other ones, they were just buy the cheapest asset on that list, which happened to be the Wolf Game Sheep. So that saw a nice jump from 0.6 to 0.8. So JWeb, maybe you can touch more on the missions?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't know much about 10KTF, we also did a video on that this week. Fun fact, we're doing a shit ton of videos. So that was on Wednesday. I did a 20-minute primer on the backstory and the lore behind 10KTF. Please go back, watch that. Once again, hit that like button. But 10KTF, there are these missions going on Battletown, which is part of their site and part of their story. And the current, on the previous missions, all you needed was the 10KTF wearables, anywhere from 1 to 5 of them, and that would get you more points and more rewards. And you could use a blank avatar, and so you didn't have to own any of the avatars or any of the PFPs to be a part of it. For this current set of missions that goes live here in a few hours, there are 3 different missions to choose from. For one of them, I'm pulling it up right now on my side so I can just be accurate here with the information. So please give me 15 more seconds. I'm on the site and we are good. So for one of them, you need either an Oni Force, a Cryptoad, a CryptoPunk, a Moonbird, a Noun, or a Gucci Grail. For the second mission, you need either a Bored Ape, a Kennel Dog, a Mutant Ape, a Cool Cat, a World of Women, or a World of Women Galaxy. And on the final mission, you need either a Gutter Cat, a Me Bit, a Pudgy Penguin, a Forgotten Wizard,
Wizard.
or a Wolf Game Sheep or Wolf. So those are the different missions and the different avatars you need. Fortunately, I can go into all three missions because I have a Gutter Cat, I have an Ape, and I have a Punk. So I'm gonna be able to take part in all of those, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, it's just been really cool. Like every Thursday, there has been, that's when the missions have been ending. New missions have been starting up the following week, ending on Thursday, and they've been putting out like either still images or video, kind of expanding on the story that's going on. So really cool stuff over at 10KTF. Still very, very bullish on it long term and in the short term, because it's something different and fun to be a part of, while the NFT market on the whole is just very stagnant.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
There you go. And then there's some more interesting news, some very, very interesting news coming from the side of Cameo. Something you would maybe not expect, but Bored Ape 9132 has started doing cameos. And so you could, just go to Cameo, go to the Ape 9132 and ask him to say something for you, and you have to pay a little bit. And apparently it's working. And this is done by Adam Draper. So some may know him, pretty large VC, and he's working for Boost VC. And apparently, according to him, allegedly he is the very first Coinbase investor, which is a pretty cool title to have, I suppose.
Okay.
So I figured that's pretty interesting to share. Cameos, Bored Ape, some pretty cool animated Bored Ape. You can have him say stuff, I guess. So, there you go.
There you have it. And then I think you had one more thing to touch on, Dan, and that will wrap it up for the day. So why don't you get into Arcade Inc.?
Yeah, it's Arcade Inc., and it's been around for quite some time, but they haven't launched their metaverse yet. And these are from the creators of Apes vs. Mutants, so the quality is definitely there. And they're going to go live on September 5th, and they've already minted out the whole land plots and stuff. But I suppose on the 5th then you can actually enter the game and explore or something. There's a bunch of assets are eligible to roam their lands. So I'd say check them out. Seems very interesting. Don't know too much about the project as I'm not really invested, so I haven't ever dove into it. But September 5th is the date, so check it out.
All right, very cool. So yeah, that's gonna about wrap it up for today. Once again, NFT market was slow in August. Not surprising. Not panicking. Still comfortable with the projects that I believe in. I know Dan is as well. So keep a level head. Stay patient. Avoid all of the FUD on Twitter. People on there are too short-sighted and don't have the patience. And patience in any market is going to be rewarded. So just something to bear in mind here, okay? I hope everyone has a great weekend. Dan, I hope you enjoy watching the race on Sunday. For everyone in the United States, happy Labor Day weekend. Go have fun. Be safe. Don't drink and drive, okay? I don't want to have to, to harp on that one too much. Be smart, people. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Once again, please like the stream, subscribe to our channel, head to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT needs. If you need some content, we had a whole bunch this week. Earlier this week, we had videos about Moonbirds, 10KTF, Wolf Game, all this good stuff. So check those out if you need a little bit of time when you're going to events this weekend. Hey, maybe pop on one of our shows at a party. Who knows? People might like it. Probably not. Don't do that. So for Dan, for everyone at FLOLiO, I am Jeremy. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you next time.